Good afternoon, everyone. Shaping SAGAR in a multipolar world. A lot of talk has gone in the previous sessions also about strategic requirements and strategic pursuits of India for shaping SAGAR. So I thought I'll talk something different, a bit of technology-led empowerment or a technology-led indulgence into the SAGAR policy for economic cooperation, which might resonate a little better also with the young audience and the academic institute which is here. So I look after the Center for Maritime Economy and Connectivity at RIS. RIS is Research and Information Systems for Developing Countries, which was established about 40 years back. We are resident in the India Habitat Center, very close to this place. And this Center for Maritime Economy and Connectivity has been recently established a few years back by the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways to look after the maritime vertical. We are very, very short of capacities in maritime domain, as you are all aware. And but however, SAGAR needs a lot of these capacities, and India also needs a lot of these capacities. So SAGAR objectives, you would have heard from the different speakers, and they have covered about disaster management, security, and many other things. But economic development, and especially economic development through technology, which is our plus point, and especially the frugal innovation and frugal technologies which we have been developing in various sectors, the space sector, the defense sector. You all know that what was the power of technology during the Op Sindoor, and so many other areas of economic development. So I'll touch upon some of these aspects, how important they are to be pursued. Well, the key SAGAR initiatives have been, of course, covered in many of the domains, but we are doing a lot of port projects also, since I look after the maritime economy and connectivity. And these are only 2 ports which are listed here, but there are many more which we are engaging also in Africa and various other parts of the global world. As far as the island partnerships are concerned, a lot of these partnerships are coming up. We started SAGAR with the base of the security, maritime security as the base. But more than that, the island partnerships and support, especially for their economic development, is key. And while we are growing, the others should also grow, and that is what SAGAR embodies, SAGAR envisions: security and growth for all together. Humanitarian missions, they would have all been covered in the previous speakers would have all spoken about it, but this is just a snapshot for your understanding and research. There are some researchers also around in this area. Also the environment disaster response which we have been doing. More importantly, all of these also require technology. Handling oil spill, Coast Guard and the Navy knows better that it requires a whole lot of technologies to contain. And we had these 2 recent incidents off the coast of Kerala, and how well equipped or how less equipped we are, it is a point of debate, both from the perspective of the maritime legal perspective, the law provisions, as well as the technology and the disaster response SOP, etc., etc. So it requires huge capacities, huge amount of stakeholder integration, and platforms like this are very important to highlight this aspect, and especially for the researchers and think tanks like St. John's and Mackay's. This is very important to be understood, how well we can prepare for these disasters or these responses. Well, the policy, SAGAR of course aligns with our broader maritime strategy, the Act East policy and blue economy, as the speakers have talked about it. But SAGAR also envisions promotion and adoption of advanced technologies, basically under the umbrella of economic cooperation, and we should be steering it, we should be leading it for these island nations, not only with respect to the blue economy, but also with respect to the other aspects of the economy and trade, surveillance and logistic management. And India should leverage, as I mentioned, the frugal technology aspect of it, and how we have been developing these technologies, especially in our context. The context is very important. Technologies developed in the developed world may not be directly applicable or deployed here. And of course, the Indian Navy knows it much better. We've been integrating the technologies from the east and the west, and we have our own technologies added to it. And now we are one of the largest. Our share of indigenization is in the Indian Navy. Share of indigenization in defense, of course, is the largest among the three services. But the other technologies which have come up around the nation with the startups and the MSME integration are very important, and it doesn't require an establishment or an institute like IIT or ISER. Places like this can also be incubators. So one important aspect of SAGAR could be the digital ocean, which we can provide, and we have a very important center in India called the Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, which is under the Ministry of Earth Science. And this center has very key functionaries or key functions where the ocean information and advisory services related to not only the warnings, but also with respect to economy, the blue economy to the fisher folk, and the other aspects are also undertaken. So this is a very well established center, and I would just quickly go through the various functions and services they provide. As I mentioned, they also give potential advisories for fishing zones. They also do ocean state forecast. They also do data and information management. They also give warning for hazards and ecology preservation and ecosystem preservation, etc. They also have been aiding India and some of the island nations, close by island nations, in ocean forecasting and preventing tsunamis. You know how our response has become better with more information and overall capacity building in this area. So this is a very important center, and why I wanted to highlight it is that they have been making some global contributions with respect to their programs on Indian Ocean Global Ocean Observation Observing System, as well as these acronyms are there: CYBER, POGO, IOCCG, and they all cover some collaborative approach and our contribution to island countries and many other countries with respect to the ocean forecasting and the competencies this center has. But we can leverage this even further and take this to the next level, and create a sort of ecosystem or a digital ocean for the country's economic development under the umbrella of SAGAR, and diverting a little away from the maritime security and the PSP, the preferred security provider, or the disaster response aid and so on and so forth, into technological empowerment to these countries, and some of these areas are listed here. So the expansion of the umbrella I've spoken to INCOIS. Their plans are there. It's not that they're not doing it already, but it requires a lot of stakeholder integration and a lot of support from the other participants or the other stakeholders we have in our country, who can help for INCOIS and Ministry of Earth Science or India per se to consolidate this aspect of expansion of digital ocean services, which will not only cover the data fusion. It is not only technology, but it is techno-strategic, you can say. So you can see that the ocean observation and modeling has a techno-strategic aspect also. It can cover not only responses or informations for disaster prevention and governance and so on and so forth, but it can drive the socio-economic impact also. So I would like some of the researchers here and Mackay's to study and look at this aspect of SAGAR and delve this into more, because this is one aspect which we need to cover and also consolidate the umbrella of SAGAR into a wider dimension. Well, I would just go through some of the powerhouses, some of the small startup companies which have emerged lately, and they can be very, very useful in connecting with the Indian Ocean region and the countries around, because as I said, technology is our strength and we should always play our strength. And then the theme of this session is shaping, SAGAR shaping the multipolar world. So since technology is our strength, and since we have a success story here, more than 100 unicorns and so on and so forth, why not deploy them and connect them to for the global good, and especially leading the global south and the Indian Ocean region. So I'll cover some of these names. You may already know them, but this is just for consolidating and refreshing our memories that what kind of impact they have done. So as you can see, marine robotics and underwater drone, again related to not only defense but also for key applications in infrastructure, energy, and our blue economy, the deep ocean mission, and so on and so forth. Logistics is very important, and we spend a lot of money in shipping and logistics, although we are a maritime nation with more than 200 non-major ports, 200 plus 217 to be precise, but only 64 per se are operational, these non-major ports, for cargo operations or otherwise. So logistics and integration of logistics, integration of our Gati Shakti program and the other dedicated freight corridor, inland waterways and coastal, this is very important. So why I am mentioning it here, that all these are very, very important for the Indian Ocean region also, and the countries of focus what we are talking about. And these companies at a very limited cost can do a lot of change there. Another company which is also a logistic and provider but with technology aid, this is onto renewable energy and also the creating or developing green vessels or electric ferries. We have done a good job in this. Another company called Plantis, which has been working in the field of underwater inspection, which is also very important. There are some names. They also give you a little bit of motivation. Not that you require a pure technologist to start these companies. You can conceive an idea and then take this forward. So for the surveillance and regarding the full stack of the complete GIS mapping, you see, India being a maritime nation, I'm again focusing for the benefit of the youngsters. Some time back, we didn't even know that we have 11,098 kilometers of our coastline. It recently got published, and Survey of India updated our 7,500 kilometers of coastline to 11,098 kilometers of coastline. So why it is important is that one of the domain of coastal governance, coastal security, coastal economy is technology. And one very important highlight I would like to just mention here is called marine spatial planning. So marine spatial planning, countries like Germany and Belgium have developed their economies utilizing this. It is not only a spatial planning, but it is also a temporal planning. They plan their operations also based on this. Nobody knows better than us what are the diverse applications of technology, and we should complete this stack, and we should utilize this technology not only for us, but also for the benefit of the nations around us. So I'll quickly cover this since one bell has already gone through, and now we are on to our top, the item of migrating from Sagar to Mahasagar. Well, Sagar has been consolidated. Sagar has been a very important policy, and Sagar has built foundations, and now Sagar has built foundations for Mahasagar, that you are all aware. But this again I would like to highlight, the technology-led empowerment or technology-led focus for economic cooperation would give us even more meaningful results. Coming on to the deep ocean mission and the technology, these are all verticals of deep ocean mission where technologies are required, and where again the role of technology, and not only empowering ourselves but also empowering the nations around us. Few more cyber security, undersea cables have been talked about, but these are all emerging domains and we need them more than anybody else. As far as the strategic aspect of this is concerned, as I mentioned it previously, technology without any strategy cannot be rolled out or cannot be achieved without amalgamating technology into it. So the aspect is techno-strategic. So the leadership has to also enable or focus on our strength areas, and the strength area is maritime leadership, where we have already talked about being the security provider or integrated security and growth. These are all aspects of shaping the SAGAR policy for the multipolar world. But what I would like to just highlight, that this forward-looking policy or consolidation, if it is dealt through technology and technology-led empowerment, it will lead to a better result. So thank you so much, and I also want to congratulate and thank the organizers of this program for touching upon this important topic. Thank you.